evening, everyone, and welcome to Check It Out, the library talk show that lets you know what's happening in and around the Bethel Park Public Library. We're your hosts, Elaine Volpe
and Christine McIntosh. I just wanted to say happy summer, almost summer. Unofficial start of summer was Memorial Day, and Memorial Day weekend we did have our third annual Party in the Park fundraiser at South Park Theater. So, Miss Elaine, you were there doing crafts with the kids.
So much fun, even though we got a little wet.
We did
or
get a little
lot
wet.
It was still a great time.
Yes, we had scattered showers off and on all day, and it was Memorial Day weekend. So we had over 100 people, which is good, but we have had up to 300 in years past. The one thing that was really fun, which I know you didn't get to see because you were helping with the spring bulb drop raffle, but our Miss Cass Cabaret performance.
I missed it. I know.
Was so much fun. My friend Karen Frank and I performed along with, there were 6 acts. So we had a really great time.
I did see snippets of it. I watched the video.
Oh,
Someone,
okay.
Was it on Facebook? Or,
Yeah, Bill, my husband, put it up
maybe
on,
that's
on
what,
Facebook.
yes. So
yeah.
you did a great job. It was very commendable.
Yes.
Good for you.
So thank you to all of our sponsors and to our attendees that came that day. We raised between $5,000 and $6,000. I'm still waiting for 2 more invoices to come in. But so that's a good amount for us to share among the charities that were represented that day. And then coming up, we have the Bethel Park Art and Music Festival, which will be held on Saturday, July 27th from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. This will be on the grounds, inside the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, the field there, the gazebo, the children's playground parking lot, and the community center. So this is a very, very big production. We will have over 60 artists from South Arts Pittsburgh and Bethel Art Guild, and also John Oprasek, who we are very familiar with.
They're going to be there?
Yes,
Okay.
your cousin, Maria DeSimone Prasek.
I know they're busy people in the summer, so I wasn't sure if they were going to make it.
Well, you can't say
they're busy
no
year
to
round,
Andy
but-
Amrine. So
that is true.
photographer J.P. Deerle, and we have a doodler, a professional doodler, Larry
fun.
Brandstetter. So in the gazebo all day, we'll have live performances, music performances by local and regional bands. We'll have food.
Do we have any of those announced yet? I know we were reaching out to a couple different people.
I do not. I'm waiting. Lynn Dunbar from the Community Foundation, who is Dean Streeter's daughter, and if you've ever seen the Dean Streeter concert series. So she is handling booking all of the music.
Nice.
So we will have a lineup very soon. Then we have food trucks throughout the day in the parking lot by the children's playground over at the community center. Of course, basket raffles and 50/50. There'll be information booths on the track around the field from local businesses and like some nonprofit organizations. I know we have some local authors that are going to be there.
We will be there, so be sure to stop by the library tent.
The library will be there,
I'm
sure.
assuming the splash pad will be open.
The splash pad will be open, and you have to pay to get in.
So what a
that
fun day. But you can do splash pads, you can do the festival, you can take your break and go eat at a food truck.
Yes.
And then come back to the festival. I think it's going to be a great day.
It's going to be a great day. And so while no chairs are allowed on the grass of the field, there is a concrete area and then around the track in front of the gazebo. So if you want to bring your, your folding chair, your camp chair, so that you can sit and enjoy music, that would be okay. And also parking is off-site. So we have shuttle buses that are running from the high school to the park and ride at Lytle in Brightwood. And there'll be some parking over by the Shim building at I think it's Bethany Lutheran Church. So there will be shuttle buses running all day. Very excited about that. And the best part, it's all free.
Yay.
It's all free. And it's sponsored by the Fantastic Four charities, which is the Bethel Park Education Foundation, the Community Foundation, the Historical Society, and of course the library. So any proceeds from that will come to those charities. So it's going to be a really great day for the community to come together. So
Yeah, and that's at the end of July. So kind of a great way to
Yeah.
wrap up summer. I mean, not really, but sometimes I feel like end of summer
And
is
yeah, end of July, then
because
August,
August, like mid-August, you're already getting ready to
ready
go
for
back to school.
Yeah, which I
So,
miss. I still miss going back to school. I really miss it.
what do you miss? The school shopping?
Just the
Just the
excitement
excitement.
of it.
Packing that your backpack the night
Yeah.
before.
And then, well, then I wouldn't be able to sleep, and I was nauseous because I was always so scared. But once I got there, like I loved school. I did. I loved school.
Same. I had butterflies the night before, but it wasn't so much excitement; it was nerves. But then when
Yeah.
I got there, I absolutely loved it. I would say this would hold true up until middle school.
Oh, middle school is horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I loved it in elementary school, not so much in middle school
yeah,
or high
middle
school.
school. Well, we had junior high, so it was 7th and 8th grade. It was they were the worst 2 years of my life.
Do you remember? I just recently saw on Facebook a video or a reel. Do you remember how you covered your textbooks?
Oh, yeah, with
With the brown paper bag.
a brown paper bag.
I remember my mom vividly like covering all of our textbooks, and then we would decorate it and put
Yes.
stickers. But now they have those stretchy
I know they're
wrap
pretty
covers that you
cool.
get at the dollar store.
They're pretty cool, but
They
you
were
know.
cool. Yeah.
And then, well, adult summer reading is starting June 3rd and will run through July 28th. So you can sign up at the library. So you'll place there's just a little entry form, and you'll place it in the fishbowl. You'll see there's a adult summer reading display. You place it in the fishbowl, and then fill out and submit an entry form for each item you read or listen to. No newspapers, no magazines, but you can listen to audiobooks or read. And then you can submit those entries in person at the library, or you can do it online through our website. And one winner per week will be drawn for from that week's entries for a $25 gift card. So we have 8 weeks, so we have 8 $25 gift cards. And then all participants will be entered into the grand prize drawing for a Kindle Fire HD 8 tablet, and that will take place end of business July 28th. So,
Very exciting.
Very exciting. I like summer reading. I like to read all the time, but to sit in the sun and read a book to me is really great. So, check out some of these potential summer reads for you.
We have summer reads, books to read as you soak, float, and ride the waves. First up is Birding with Benefits, written by Sarah Dubb. This is a romance featuring two 40-something characters in a refreshing love story about growing, changing, and the natural resistance to both. Celeste and John are thrown together in a 6-week bird watching contest. The commitment-wary pair grow closer and finally succumb to their attraction. But can their casual relationship end painlessly once the contest is over? The Wren in the Holly Library, written by K.A. Lindy. This is an urban fantasy set in a monster-filled New York City. 13 years ago, monsters emerged from the shadows and plunged Kiersey's world into a cataclysmic war of near total destruction. The New York City she knew so well collapsed practically overnight. In the wake of that carnage, the Monster Treaty was created. It's a truce of sorts. But tonight, Thief Kiersey will break that treaty. She'll enter the Holly Library, not knowing it's the home of a monster. He's charming, quietly alluring, and terrifying. But he knows talent when he sees it. It's just a matter of finding her price. Unprotected, written by Billy Porter. Singer and actor Billy Porter opens up about his childhood in the 1970s Pittsburgh. From living with HIV to starring on Broadway, Porter candidly covers personal tests and triumphs. His frankness as he delves into topics like gay rights, racism, and the redemptive power of art make his memoir a rewarding read. My Life with Sea Turtles, written by Christine Figener. Marine biologist and ecologist author who moved to Costa Rica to work as a research assistant in an organization devoted to saving endangered leatherback sea turtles from extinction is the premise of this book. Figener recounts this early research with urgency that brings you right into the moment with her, peering at a sea turtle as she lays her eggs in the sand. Part memoir, part science reporting, and part conservationist leaning, this book sheds light not only on the beauty and mystery of sea turtles, but also the urgent need to save them. And finally, Swift River, written by Essie Chambers. This book is set in 1987 in a fictional New England mill town. And there we find 16-year-old Diamond, the only non-white resident, living with her unemployed white mom since the mysterious disappearance of her black father near the river 7 years ago. Her understanding of her father's family blossoms when she receives a series of letters from Southern relatives. This is a story of first friendships, family secrets, and finding the courage to let go. It's a sensational debut about ancestral memory and how history shapes us. So come on in and check out one today.
So we have some other interesting stuff going on for adults. We are rejuvenating the adult movies for the minds.
Okay.
For the mind. Remember when Mary Mullen used to do that years and
Yeah,
years and
I
years
do.
ago? Well, Carla is going to start doing that again. So the inaugural movie for the mind will be Monday, June 3rd at 10 a.m. So this group will watch thought-provoking documentaries, independent and foreign films with reflective discussion of the themes and any issues that they may raise. So the first movie is Fannie Lou Hamer's America. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
I
was just
didn't
gonna ask
either.
you.
Fannie Lou Hamer was a civil rights activist. So this is a documentary about her. So it's a portrait of her as a civil rights activist. And features like the injustices in America that made her work essential. She was a public speaker. She did a lot of interviews, and in the documentary, there's a lot of powerful songs and music of the fearless Mississippi sharecropper turned human rights activist.
Oh, it sounds very interesting.
Yeah, Fannie Lou Hamer's America explores and celebrates the lesser-known life of one of the civil rights movement's greatest leaders.
It's wonderful. I like the name Fannie Lou.
Fannie Lou.
What's your real name if your nickname is Fannie?
Frances.
Oh, Frances. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Frances
Frances Louise.
Louise.
Fannie Lou.
Yeah, that's what I have a friend, Samantha Louise, and to irritate her, I'll call her
Sammy
Sammy
Lou?
Lou, and she gets very upset. Yeah. We also have, this is gonna be fun, Gen X Pittsburgh, the Beehive, and the '90s scene.
So excited for this.
Thursday.
So Dave's kind of like my neighbor.
Yeah.
Not neighbor. We don't live on the same street, but he's
Okay.
a fellow Dormonter.
Awesome.
So I got to know his wife Kim through Dormont Elementary PTO. I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you there.
That's
but yes,
okay.
I'm very excited for him.
So David Rullo is the author of this Gen X Pittsburgh book. So on Thursday, June 6th at 6:30, you can join Dave Rullo, the author, as he examines the revolutionary coffee house, its community of artists, musicians, offbeat customers, and more. It will also take a deep dive into what Pittsburgh was like in the early 90s as the city was transforming from a steel magnet to a hip, vibrant, modern locale known for its tech and medical industries, which we're very well known for now. Our
Do you remember
fashionable
visiting there a lot
restaurants.
in the?
I was thinking about this last night. Yes, because so in 1990 I turned 20.
Okay.
So from 93 until 2000, I dated a drummer in a local band.
Oh, fun.
And so we were in Southside a lot.
You were down there a lot.
And so, yes, we did go to the Beehive. Not,
Cool.
I wouldn't say often, but we did go. We were at Nick's Fat City all the time,
Yeah.
like every Thursday, and then the Artery and
Oh, I don't
the
remember
Decade.
the Artery. I remember
They're
Nick's Fat
gone.
City. I don't remember the
Yeah.
Artery.
Yeah, the Artery was over like towards Oakland.
Okay.
Oh no, that was Shady Side. The Decade was like
Okay.
in Oakland. So yeah, come on in, and I'm definitely coming to this.
Hear about the book. Get to meet Dave. They're great people. It's a great book. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's about time somebody. I mean, it doesn't seem that long ago to me. You know, it really doesn't.
No,
but
not to me either.
It's
But when you stop and think about it,
it's
it's
30 some years ago.
yeah.
So, and then we have the Montour Trail, a Pennsylvania gem, on Tuesday, December 25th at 6:30 p.m. Join Julian Wolf, the Vice President of the Montour Trail Council, as he discusses the trail, its history, present status, future projects, as well as some little known facts about the trail. So I remember biking. I was biking with Jimmy that works with us, Jimmy, the greatest librarian of all time.
You guys were biking? When was this?
Oh gosh, years
Years
well,
ago.
years ago, because now it probably wouldn't happen for either of us. But we were biking on the trail on a Saturday, and there was a hill, which is unusual, but it was a hill part,
Oh, there's definitely hilly
and
parts.
Jimmy was at the top, and I was struggling. He's, Macintosh, don't you dare get off that bike. I was like, I can't do it.
It's hard, especially the first time you take it out
Yeah.
for the summer. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause we
Yeah, and
never-
it was probably this time of year. So
And you're right. It doesn't seem like a hill or a slope when
no,
you're
when
coasting down, but when it's time to come back,
Oh my
you're
goodness!
like, oh,
yeah, it was
this is a
funny.
grade.
I have that memory stuck. That picture. I wish I could
Yeah.
like, download it and print it out of my head of Jimmy at the top of the hill, and me like.
So did you get? Did
I
you
got
power
off the bike.
through? You got
No,
off. And
I
walked
got
it
off
up.
the bike. I couldn't,
And that's okay.
So he made fun of me for probably still if I brought it up he would make fun of me. But so that's what's going on for adults during the month of June. What you got?
So on over to Children's. Our summer learning program started on June 1st. It was our big kickoff party, and that's when kids could pick up their official roadmap and begin their summertime adventure, because the theme is Adventure Begins at Your Library. And isn't that the truth, right? You could have adventure in
indeed.
so many different ways, whether that be just coming to the library to play and meet new people, coming to the library to take a new class, or come to the library to check out a book, because so many great adventures can be had through books. So that's the theme this year, and we're really excited for it. Our last day to report, I think you said for adults it's July 28th.
July
Ours is the end
28th.
of July too, but we go all the way up to the 31st. More details available in the children's department, but children are going to follow a roadmap that gives them activity suggestions along the way, and those activities can earn them prizes. And then there's also reading goals, of course, and so each reading mile mark, every time you hit a reading goal, you'll get a coupon. Now, if you do all of the 24 hours worth of reading, then you too will be put in for a drawing to win a free Kindle Fire. So we're both giving away Kindles this year.
That's really
I think it's a
awesome.
nice grand prize.
That was not planned.
It was not planned. So yeah, make sure you stop in. Our summer learning program is for all ages, birth through teens. So come on in and check it out. We also have, of course, lots of fun classes happening. Our early literacy classes are starting back up. So we have Toddler Tuesdays beginning on Tuesday, June 4th. Mother Goose on the Loose will begin Wednesday, June 5th. Baby Jam on Thursday, June 6th. And Preschool Power on Friday, June 7th. Those are the start dates. They run for 8 weeks. You don't have to sign up for these. You don't have to come to each one, but we hope that you will come weekly, because I don't want to say they're built upon, but they are, especially when children are young, right? That repetition is really important. So the more you come, the more you learn those songs and the motions, and the more beneficial it is for your child. So while you're not obligated to come every week, we certainly encourage you to come as often as you can. We have Sensory Explorers set for Saturday, June 29th. So this will be a sensory-based early literacy program. There will be different sensory stations set up throughout the room. And while this is open for any age, any level, it is mostly geared for ages 2 to 5, with a caregiver, of course. So that's for the littles. For our school age friends, we have lots going on. I don't even know what to talk about first. I'm just going to encourage you to come pick up the flyer. It is also viewable on our website. Registration starts June 1st for any program held in June. July programs, registration starts July 1st. But there's a lot of fun stuff going up. We have a local author coming back. She has been here before. She lives right over in our neighboring town of Peters Township, and she owns a horse farm.
Wow.
So she has raised horses, and she's very knowledgeable on horses, of course. Her daughter is a veterinarian, so she takes care of horses. And then one day she said, I'm going to write about horses, right? She always enjoyed writing. So now she has a picture book series about her horse. So we are hosting a Giddy Up story time where you can come meet the author, learn about her horses, hear one of the stories, stay for a craft. It's going to be a lovely afternoon.
That is one of my bucket list items, is to learn how to properly ride a horse.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I've done a few, but you're on the horse and all the horses are in a line. You don't even have to,
Right. You're not really like...
you're not
yeah.
riding. I would love to learn how to ride properly.
That's a good bucket list item. So when I was in the schools introducing the theme, Adventure Begins at Your Library, we talked about like having a bucket list, right? And so one of my bucket list items is to ride in a hot air balloon.
I would love that. I've done
Just
it
something
tethered.
I always wanted to do.
I've done it tethered at the Vintage Grand Prix
Okay.
at Shenley Park. They had one tethered, and you could go up. I don't know how
Just not
far.
very
Yeah,
high.
but it was really interesting.
neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do that, Elaine.
That's fun to
we'll
find. Maybe we
find a
could
way.
do that
Yeah, we'll do
together.
that together. And Dave, you can come along and tape it for
Oh, I love that idea. So actually, Giddy Up Story Time happening once, Monday, June 17th at 11 a.m. And then we have Giddy Up Story Time 2. So if you did come earlier this year, I think we had her early spring, and you've already met her and you heard the first book, you can come to this one because she's going to read the second book in the series and do like a little bit different of an activity. So that's why you'll see 2 different story times in our flyer. And it is described in the, but if you have any questions, that's why. Some people have already met the author and heard the first story, and we're looking to kind of just expand upon that with them. We're partnering with Bethel Park Rec and offering some movie nights. And our first movie night is Friday, June 28th. I'm going to hold them in a different park each time. So you can look for details on our website about that. The locations at the time that we printed the flyer were not yet determined. We do have those set now, but just, again, check our website or give us a call. You're not going to see them printed in the flyer, but it's a different park every time.
Which is fun.
Which is fun. So bring a blanket, bring a lawn chair, come out. We're going to have free popcorn, and it's just a great way to spend time with your family. Movies will always start at dusk, which we really wasn't sure either, like what's dusk in the
Well, they do
summer,
that with like Brownsville Drive, and we go there once or twice a year, and that's what they say, at dusk.
Yeah.
So it depends. It's going to be different in June than it will
is,
be
yeah.
at the end of July.
But it's going to be like 9 or a little bit after 9
It's going to be
o'clock.
after 9.
So it's
yeah,
gonna be a
it'll
late
like
night movie.
9:30, 9:45. Yeah.
So if you bring the whole family, your littles might want to take a nap or a
weather
longer nap
jammies.
than that day. Or weather jammies in case they fall asleep. That's
Yeah.
right. And then for our teens, and our teens are considered 7th grade and up. We have a lot of fun stuff. On Tuesday, June 11th, we're hosting an escape room. On Tuesday, June 18th, we're having our first meeting of our beginner cosplay club. This is a weekly club, but the first day is June 18th. Do you know what cosplay is?
Yes.
I feel like some people maybe don't. So it's just a way where you can kind of, what do I want to say? Just become your favorite character.
You know, I love to dress up anytime I get
You
the
do.
opportunity to.
Yeah.
So yes, I would be a great cosplay, like convention goer.
Yes, you would
Yeah.
be.
Caitlin that works in our circ department, it does cosplay.
I didn't know that about her. She should drop by the cosplay club. I'll have to talk to her about
Yeah.
that. Graffiti art on June 19th. National Park Adventures on June 24th. Like there's a lot in June happening for our teens, so make sure you check out this flyer. I am most excited for adventures and game shows.
Yes.
The first one's Thursday, June 27th. You beat me to it, so you're on the team. I'm not. It's okay. I will still be there, in the studio audience, I guess. The first one is what? Are you smarter than a librarian?
Very smarter than a librarian, yes.
So the team is you, Rob, our reference librarian.
Oh, I didn't know he was doing it too. Awesome.
Sandy, or is it Sandra? She just told me the team today.
Okay.
And then Beth Scarlett from our own children's department
I'm
is
surprised.
making up the librarian team.
I was gonna say I'm surprised Jimmy's not doing it because we did win. Jimmy and I were on the Southwest chapter trivia team for the Pennsylvania Library
I do remember hearing
Association,
about
and I
it.
still have my trophy.
You have a trophy. I
Trophy.
knew
Still have my
it.
trophy in the office.
We still have to do a staff trivia night one of
I
these
know.
nights.
I know.
So Adventures and Game Shows is going to be a great time too. There's one in June, one in July, and one in August. So just a ton of good stuff going on in our children's and teen department.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then I started a new thing, kind of like you do your little video clips with book recommendations. On the last show, I kind of just highlighted a new food series that we had that talked about a family diet and nutrition, right? And kind of starting that as a family, working towards that eating healthier, just getting healthier goal as a family. One of the things I loved about that, they talked about how like you could, I forget what they called it, but you break down a meal. Right, so you're not going to cater to the child, the picky eater.
Oh yes, so
and say,
you make like
you're
the
not
taco
going to eat
bar.
you're not going to eat the shrimp scampi. Sure, we'll go to McDonald's
No,
for
you
you.
won't.
No, but maybe and shrimp scampi is not a great
But
idea.
the taco, we were talking about
The
tacos.
taco. So you're not going to change that meal. You are serving tacos for dinner, right? But you can give them that freedom to choose what they want to put on their taco. right? You can have a taco bar where it's not all mixed together, but it's separate. So they have that freedom to choose, and they kind of empowering them to.
Could just be cheese and tomatoes.
Maybe it starts out as just cheese and tomatoes, but maybe that next time they do try an avocado, right? So I just thought that was a great series, and that was a really good point made in that one book about how you can still give your child some freedom, but not cater to their
To their
pickiness.
chicken
Because you're
nuggets and
not
French
doing them
fry
any
need.
favors when you do that.
No,
right?
no, you need to
so
try
many
new
health
things.
issues out there today, and so that was the series that I highlighted last time. This one time I just brought a picture book called Homegrown that I just loved because it's about family life,
Over here.
family love, and tradition, which is near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
Right? It's a multicultural book and a multi-generational book. So I grew up with my nana living with us for like most of my life, right? My grandpa passed away when I was in kindergarten, and my nana moved in shortly afterwards. So she lived with us, and she was part. And then my boys, like we still live with my mom. So I'm in a multi-generational household. So this is just about what it means to be homegrown and how that can be something different to each family, right?
Indeed. Yeah. We lived with my grandma, and it was my grandma, my aunt, my mom, me, and my brother until I was 7.
So what is one memory that you have living with your grandma? Was there something special that you did?
Yeah.
Because in this book they talk about like mom is putting the girl's hair in twists. And that made me think my nana used to put my hair in rags.
Oh, yeah. The one thing that I just always gives me joy to think about with my grandma, because my mom worked full time, so my grandma was our primary caregiver. She would vacuum, and my brother and I would roll around on the floor, like pretending we were dust. And so, my grandma must have had the patience of a saint. And, she would vacuum. And one time I was doing a somersault and I flipped over and my hands went under the vacuum and my grandma sucked my fingers up. And
Oh my goodness.
yes, but she was, of course, you're okay, you're fine. But yes, rolling
Well,
around.
here you are laughing about it.
I love it. It's
Your
one of my-
fingers look fine.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite memories as a child. Was rolling around being
That's
dust
funny
while my
because
grandma was vacuuming.
She asks mom what she means when she calls her homegrown, and then she finds different answers. And one of the answers that her grandma gives her is home means taking care of the things that you love. And so they are cleaning, they're vacuuming in the one illustration.
Well, there we go.
Because that's true. Home is taking care of the things you love. It's making those special family meals together and cooking and eating together. And it's, doing your hair and having just so many different things. And again, it's going to be different for each family. But it's about family and love and tradition and making memories together. And again, I also loved it because of the beautiful illustrations. I think it's important that we own, us as a library, and that we read as patrons books that are about different cultures and races and religions, because that's how we learn,
That's how
right?
the world expands for all of us.
The big catchphrase, I guess, for lack of a better term, in libraries recently has been windows and mirrors. And I know you've heard of
Oh,
this,
I love that.
right? Windows and mirrors. What does that mean? Well, you want to have books that are mirrors for people because
You like to
they
see
are-
yourself. So
yeah,
you
you are reflected in the book, right? Oh, I can relate to her because she's just like me. And then mirrors, when you're looking through a mirror or window and you're curious about something. So books can act as mirrors into another world where you can learn about a different culture or a different religion or whatever the case may be. So,
Yeah, like looking through a window, like, peeping into someone else's life.
yeah.
Essentially. So it is, I love to read about people in places that are different than what I grew up with or what I live with now. It's,
Right.
It's just.
So we have a very well-rounded collection, and this is just one of the books that kind of highlight that. So, so that was my book of the month, and I don't think I have much else.
I have just one announcement that remember the library is closed on Sundays now through the summer. So from Memorial Day through the Labor Day weekend, the library is not open on Sundays, but we're here 58 other hours a week, so come and visit us.
We look forward to seeing you soon. As always, if you have any questions or comments on any of the things that we talked about on today's show, well, you know what to do. Go ahead and give us a call,
Visit our fabulous website.
or better yet, stop in and see us in person. Take care, everyone. Happy summer, and we'll see you again next month.